Well, I don't see what the problem is. It's not a maraca, it's just more Apple Music. Oh, hey there everyone, I'm Sam Tucker from Apple. And you may have heard recently, or not heard depending on which phone you use, that people have reported the speaker in their iPhone 15s sounding a little crackly when the volume is turned up too loud. I myself thought I was experiencing this issue, but it just turns out I was listening to Tom Waits. Man could do with a lozenge. Anyway, a user on Reddit mentioned how their iPhone 15 Pro Max would distort when on speakerphone and on speaker music. Well, there's their problem. They didn't spend the $500 to put the music on their heads. Fixed. But the good people we are at Apple, we did decide to replace it for him with a model that was worse. Oh, and when that happened again, we didn't replace it for him. We just asked him to reset his phone, but without using his backup. Because f your data. Unfortunately, the customer refused to admit that they were the problem, so we relented and gave him a new one. But this time, with screen burn-in. But that issue is so last month. Now, it is important to mention that this user didn't include any videos or any other evidence that this issue was actually happening. And neither did this user who posted on the Apple forums. I asked him for the evidence, but he said, "No, man." So it's a little hard to say whether this issue is really happening a lot, or if there's just some view-hungry YouTubers exploiting every little rumor about the iPhone 15 for the views. Shame on you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people are blowing their speakers out of proportion on purpose, but for goodness sake, one TikToker said that this issue happened with 3 of his phones and 7 in the store without ever showing a single clip of evidence in the longest 1 minute and 20 seconds of my life. I mean, f my uncle, does TikTok not have a fast forward button? I thought kids didn't have attention these days. So basically, who knows what's going on here? Maybe it was a software issue, maybe it was a bad batch. But you know who's also a bad batch? Our senior fitness manager. And she'll kick your ass with Apple Kung Fu. So please keep your complaints under 80% volume. Or the Apple Watch will say, "You're whinging too loud." And it'll set your heart rate to 0. Yes, we can do that. I mean, for goodness sake. We killed Tim 3 years ago. It's just that his corpse is still running the company.
Subscribe today.
Well, you should subscribe to Sam. He covers tech and he gave me a lozenge. And now I can sing like this. Ah, who would have thought? Just one lozenge.